Hello, dear student. Welcome all of you in the next lecture of the topic or of the first topic, solid state. So, dear student, in the last lecture, we have discussed the isomorphism and polymorphism, and next to that, we have started the classification of crystalline solid. In the isomorphism or in the polymorphism, we have seen what is meant by isomorphism. Isomorphism means two or more substances having a same crystal form, same crystal structure. For example, NaF and MgO, NaNO3 and CaCO3. That means in isomorphism, the crystals, they are having the same atomic ratio, and in polymorphism, a single substance, they can exist in two or more form, or they can crystallize in many form. It's called as a polymorphism. Polymorphic form of a substance is also called as a allotropic form. And the example of this polymorphism is carbon. Carbon, which crystallize in three form or present in three form: carbon diamond, carbon graphite and carbon fullerene. Also, the sulfur, they are present in the two form: monoclinic sulfur and a rhombic sulfur. So these are some examples of isomorphism and polymorphism. That part we have seen in our last lecture. And next to that, we have started the classification of crystalline, solid. So dear student, as we say that in this topic solid state, we have to study only about the crystalline solids. Crystalline solids are the homogeneous solids in which the constituent particles are arranged in a definite pattern, in definite manner, in fixed manner. So, we will start with the classification of a crystalline solid. Crystalline solids are classified into the four types, depending on the constituent particle is either atom or ion or molecule, all the metals of an ion or the atoms of an metals. So, if the constituent particle of the crystalline solid or the crystalline structure is an ion, then that solid is called as a ionic solid. If the constituent particle of the crystal structure is an atom, then that crystalline solid is called as a atomic, or it is also called as a covalent solid or covalent crystal. If the constituent particle is in the form of a molecule, then that type of a crystalline solid is called as a molecular solid. And if the constituent particle is the atoms of metals, then that crystalline solid, that crystalline structure is called as a metallic solid. So, depending on particle is formed that crystalline structure. The crystalline solids are classified as ionic solid, covalent solid, molecular solid and the metallic solid. So, let us see one by one in detail. So, first of all, we have to see what is meant by ionic solids or ionic crystals. Ionic solids or ionic crystals. As we see in the last lecture, how in the ionic solids, the constituents are in the form of ions. The constituent of that crystalline solids, they are present in the form of ions. And as we know, how the ions are formed, or there are how many types of ions are present, and as we know, the ions are either cations, means positively charged ions, or anions, means negatively charged ions. How the ions are formed? Ions means cations or anions. They are formed either by losing the electron or by gaining the electron. And when an atom loses its electron, it forms a positively charged ion called as cations. And when an atom gains the electron, then at that time it forms a negatively charged ion called as anions. That means, what are the ions? Ions are the charged species. Atoms are neutral, but when atom lose or gain the electron, then at that time it forms a positively charged cation or negatively charged anion. Means ions are the charged species, carries either positive charge or a negative charge. A positively charged cations are formed by the loss of an electron from the atom, and a negatively charged anions are formed by the gain of an electron by that atom. So, what are the ions? Ions are the charged species, carries either positive charge or negative charge. Then, how the ionic solids, ionic crystals are obtained? In ionic crystals, the constituent particles are ions. Ions means positively charged cations and negatively charged anions. Positively charged cations and negatively charged anions. And therefore, these positively charged cations and negatively charged anions, either they are attract with each other or they are repelled with each other. These are the oppositely charged ions, and when they contact with each other, then they attract with each other. Means when these ions they comes together, comes closer, then they form a ionic crystal. And electrostatic force of attraction which exists between these positively charged ions and negatively charged ions, and therefore they attract with each other and they form a ionic crystal or ionic solids. How the ionic crystal or ionic solids are formed? When these positively charged cations and negatively charged anions comes closer, they bonded with each other and forms the ionic crystal. Therefore, in the ionic crystals, the ions are held together. These ions are held together by the electrostatic force of attraction. They are held together by a electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged ions. These are the opposite charged ions and they are attract with each other, but attract with each other in what attraction? Electrostatic force of attraction. So, this how the ionic crystals or the ionic solids are obtained. Then next point, these ionic crystal or the ionic solid, they are hard and brittle. They are hard and brittle and having high melting point. Means when these ionic solids or ionic crystals are formed by the electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged ion, then the formed crystal is called as the ionic crystal or the ionic solid, and these ionic solids or the ionic crystals, they are hard. What is the property of these ionic solids or crystal? They are hard and brittle and they are having a high melting point. They are having a high melting point. These ionic crystal or the solid, they are a non-conductor of electricity in the solid state. Means when they form a crystal in the solid state, then they are non-conductor of electricity. But they are a good conductor in when they get melt or dissolved in water. For example, NaCl. What are the example of the ionic solid or the ionic crystal? NaCl, KCl, then here CaF2, then K2SO4 or FeSO4, and many more examples of the ionic solids. So, when these ionic solids, they are in the solid state, then they are non-conductor of heat and electricity. But they become a good conductor when they get melt or when they dissolved in water. In the combined form, means here positively charged sodium and negatively charged chlorine combines together to form an ionic crystal in a solid state. And in a solid state, the charges are not free, they are in a electrostatic force of attraction. But when they get melt or when they dissolve in a water, they becomes a good conductor of heat and electricity. So, in the ionic solid or ionic crystal, what we have to discuss about that crystals, how the ionic crystals are formed? They are formed by the electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged ions. Then they are hard and brittle. They are having high melting point due to hardness, because they require the more energy to get melt, and therefore the melting point of the ionic crystal is very high. Then in the solid state, they are a non-conductor of the heat and electricity, but when they get melt or when they dissolve in water, they conduct the electricity. That means they becomes a good conductor of electricity. The examples of the ionic solids are NaCl, KCl, calcium fluoride, potassium sulfate or ferrous sulfate, and many more examples of the ionic solids are there. So, this is the first type of a crystalline solid, is the ionic solid, in which the constituent particles are the ions and they are held together by the electrostatic force of attraction. The second type of crystalline solid is when the constituent particles of the crystalline solid are atom, then they are the atomic, or it is called as a covalent solid or covalent crystal. That means in a covalent solid or the atomic solid, the constituent particles are in the form of atoms. They are present in the form of atom. So the atom in these crystals, they are held together by a covalent bond. For example, as we know, carbon atom, what is the valency of a carbon? The valency of a carbon is 4. That means it is bonded with another 4 carbon atom. It is bonded with another 4 carbon atom. This is also carbon atom. It is also bonded with another 4 carbon atom. So, the constituent particles in the covalent solid or the atomic solid, they are present in the form of atom. So, many more atoms, they are bonded with another atom by a covalent bond. But as we know, what is mean by covalent bond? A covalent bond is formed by a mutual sharing of an electron between atoms. How the covalent bond will be formed? What is mean by covalent bond? Covalent bond is formed by the mutual sharing of an electron. Means what here? Carbon, in that outermost, the 4 electrons are present, and each and every carbon atom, they are having how many electrons in their outermost shell? The 4 electrons. So these 4 electrons, they get mutually shared, and this covalent bond it will be formed. Means in a covalent crystal or atomic crystal, the atoms, they are held together by a covalent bond. And this result means when they are held together by a covalent bond, it makes that crystal rigid. It makes that crystal, means it forms a crystal like this. It forms a crystal like a network, and it forms a giant, a big structure, a big covalent structure. It forms a network like structure because each atom is bonded with another atom with respect to their valencies, and therefore this structure, it becomes a rigid, and when it becomes a rigid, then it becomes a very hard. The ionic crystal or the ionic structure, it is a hard and brittle, but the covalent or the atomic crystal structure, it is a very hard structure, and therefore they are having high melting point, and therefore they are having a high melting point. So due to that hardness or rigidness, it is a incompressible structure in all crystalline solids. It is an incompressible structure in all crystalline solids. The example of this covalent crystal or the atomic crystal is carbon diamond, carbon graphite, silica. As we know here, silicon also. Each silicon, they are having bonded with another 4 silicon atom. and therefore it forms a giant structure. It forms here a giant structure, a network-like structure. Due to that, it is a very hard structure and having a higher melting point. For example, sorry, diamond, quartz means silica, SiO2, then graphite, nantar carborundum are the covalent network solid. So these are some examples of this covalent or the atomic solid. This is the second type of crystalline solid when the constituents are atoms. Then the third type of crystalline solid is when the constituent particles of the crystalline solid is molecules. If the constituent particles of the crystalline structure is molecules, then they form a molecular solid or molecular crystal. Then they form a molecular solid or a molecular crystal. As we know, the substances like Cl2, O2, H2, the substances like Cl2, O2, H2, when they get solidified, substances means the molecules like Cl2, H2, O2, HCl, then here we have CO2, CH4, these are the substances. And when they get solidified, because they are present in the gaseous state, Cl2, H2, O2, HCl, CH4, CO2, they are the gases. And when they get solidified, then they form a molecular crystal. Because these are the molecules. Because these are the molecules. And when these molecules, when they are present in the gaseous state and when they get solidified, then here they gives the molecular crystals. Then the constituent particles of the molecular crystal is a molecule of the same substance. The constituent particles of the molecular crystal is the, here what we can say, the constituent particles of the molecular solid or the molecular crystal is a molecule of the same substance. And in that molecule, they are which type of a bond will be present in each molecule. For example, if here we consider the H2 molecule. In H2 molecule, the hydrogen and hydrogen, two hydrogen atoms are present. And in the molecule or in each molecule, when they form a molecular solid, then in each molecule, the atoms are held together here by a covalent bond. Here, hydrogen, one electron is present. In the second hydrogen, also the one electron is present. And the hydrogen atom and hydrogen atom, when they comes closer, they form a H2 molecule. And in molecule, in H2 molecule, in Cl2 molecule, in O2 molecule, in also HCl molecules, in the molecules, the atoms, they are held together compulsory by a covalent bond. Which bond is present in the atoms of the molecules? Covalent bond. If we consider the HCl molecule, in HCl molecule, chlorine having how many electrons in their outermost shell? 7 electrons. Hydrogen having how many electrons in the outermost shell? 1 electron. Due to complete their octet, these H and Cl, they are held together by electrostatic force of attraction, and that attraction is called as a covalent bond. That means there is a mutual shearing of an electron. Hydrogen having 1 electron, chlorine having 7 electron. In that the first electron is unpaired, the 1 electron is unpaired, the 6 electrons are paired. There are 4. In HCl molecule also, the atoms they are held together by a covalent bond. But when the molecular crystals are formed from the molecules, then here one Cl2 molecule is attract the another Cl2 molecule. This form a molecular structure. In the molecule, the two Cl2 atoms are held together by a covalent bond. But when the molecular crystals are formed, then many more molecules they comes closer and form a molecular crystal. And they form a molecular crystal. Then what type of a force of attraction they are present in between the two molecules? And for that we have to refer our 11th standard topic, states of matter. And in that we have seen there are how many types of force of attraction, intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules are present. Either they are dipole-dipole interaction, ion-dipole interaction, dipole-induced dipole interaction, or the London forces or the dispersion forces, or also the hydrogen bonding, intermolecular hydrogen bonding or intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Means when the molecular crystals or the molecular solids are formed, then they are in that the molecules they are held together by a weak dipole-dipole interaction or the hydrogen bonding. For example, here we have the ammonia molecule NH3. In NH3, the nitrogen and hydrogen they are bonded together by a covalent bond, but the one NH3 and another NH3 they are held together by the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. But in Cl2, these are the molecule, and when the molecular crystals are formed by the molecules, because in the molecular solids are formed by the molecules. The molecular solids are formed by the molecules, as the molecules they are attract together by a weak force of interaction. It may be dipole-dipole interaction or the hydrogen bonding or the dispersion forces. The molecular solid they are soft in nature and therefore they are having a low melting point. So this is all about the molecular solid. The next type of a crystalline solid is a metallic solid. In the metallic solid, the fourth one is metallic solid. In the metallic solids or the metallic crystals, the constituent particles are the atoms of a metal held together by a metallic bond. Here, in the metallic solid, if we consider this is a metal sheet, and in this metal sheet, a positively charged cations are always surrounded by or delocalized by the negatively charged electron. The example of the metallic solids are Fe metal, sodium metal, cobalt metal, potassium metal, iron metal. So these are many more examples of the metal as we know. And in the metallic solid, here if we consider this is the sheet of a metal, and in that sheet of a metal a positively charged cations they are held together or attracted by the mobile. This is the C of an electron, and if this is called as a kernel. This is called as a kernel, and this is called as a C of an electron. Then these positively charged cations are held together by here mobile electron with the electrostatic or the attractive interaction between the cations and the mobile electron constitute a metallic bond, and therefore in this solid metal with the valence electron, here the valence electrons are present, because as we know in a metal a positively charged nucleus is surrounded by an electron, valence electron, and therefore the electrostatic force of attraction between the cations and the mobile electrons forms a metallic bond. In the metallic bond, the constituent particles are the atoms of metals. These are the atoms of a metal. And the attraction between the positively charged cations and the delocalized mobile electron constitute a metallic bond. Then what are the characteristic properties of the metallic crystals? And as we know, metals are ductile in nature. Metals are malleable in nature, and the metals are a good conductor of heat and electricity. Metal shows the property malleability. Malleability means when they heated and they can be drawn into the sheets, thin sheets. Ductility means they can be drawn into the wires, and due to this delocalized electron all over in the sea of that sheet, they shows the property of conductivity, and therefore the metals are a good conductor of heat and electricity. For example, metals of sodium, potassium, ferrous, cobalt, nickel, copper. So these are the examples of the metals. So dear student, in today's lecture we have completed the types of a crystalline solid. In that, the first one is ionic solid, the second one is atomic, or it is called as a covalent crystal, the third one is molecular solid, and the fourth one is metallic solid. In the next lecture we will see the next point. So thank you.